Hey there, future college students. My name's Kevin Landry, and I am the co-owner of the Extra Point ACT Prep Company. Now, my question for you today is this. Are you getting the improvement that you need on the ACT just by watching the ACT tips and strategy videos? Now, as ACT prep professionals for the last 10 years, we know that ACT tips and strategies are very important. You do need to have pacing strategies and test strategies and things of that nature. But if you want to get the really big jumps, the 3 and 4 and 5 points improvement, you really have to know your ACT skills. Now, before we get too far into what ACT math skills that you need for the test, do me a quick favor and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification so that you'll be up to date on more videos like these. We're going to be doing a whole series of playlists on all of the most common ACT math questions that you can see on the test, and you don't want to miss any of those particular videos that'll be coming out in the near future. Okay, so the purpose of this video and video series is to actually provide you with the ACT math skills that you need to make those big jumps on the ACT math test. Now, for these videos, I've picked out the most common ACT math skills that are tested, and then I've gone into those skills and I've picked out the most common ACT questions that come from those ACT math skills. Now, before you watch the rest of this video, what I really would like you to do is I'd like you to go into the description of this video, and there's a document there that I use for the remainder of the video. It's got a handful of math questions on it. I'd like you to stop the video, give yourself about 5 minutes to work those math questions, and then come back and play the remainder of this video and see how you did. Not only will I give you the answers, I will also show you some very good strategies to work these ACT math questions. So not only are you going to get to learn all of the ACT math skills, I will show you some strategies that go along with it as well. Good luck, and I'll see you at the end of the video. When you finish, I'll give you some more information on some good ACT math prep that you can also use along with these videos. All right, welcome back. We're going to jump into our next set of common pre-algebra ACT math problems. In this particular video, we're going to focus on decimals and scientific notation. I definitely recommend that if you haven't already, go to the description and find the link to the document that I'm going to be working on here. It's to your benefit to go ahead and print that document and work out the 5 problems before you watch the video. That way you'll get the most understanding from your mistakes while you're watching the video. Okay, so here we are. We're going to jump in with our first decimal question. Again, you can see very quickly that we're dealing with a word problem, just as you tend to do on the ACT. More than 50% of the questions are going to be word problems. We need to get to a point where we feel comfortable with that. So let's just go ahead and kind of dive in and see what we're dealing with. It says, according to soil analysis, a certain lawn requires an application of 40 kilograms of nitrogen phosphate when the average temperature is 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, look, that's a lot of information. Kilograms, nitrogen phosphate, all this random stuff kind of going on sounds important, and like you're going to need to know a lot of information for this problem. But really what you need to be familiar with is this. We need to know that at 75 degrees, we're going to use 40 kilograms of nitrogen phosphate. So we need to kind of make that link, so to speak. Now it says to avoid burning the grass, the required application amount decreases 1.2 kilograms for each 1 degree of Fahrenheit that the average temperature is above 75 degrees. So if we go up 1 degree of temperature, we need to subtract 1.2 kilograms of fertilizer from our application. That will offset the temperature increase, and that way we won't burn up our lawn. So that's a very important kind of connection we can make there. It says, to the nearest 0.1 kilograms, what is the required application amount of nitrogen phosphate when the average temperature is 83 degrees Fahrenheit? So if I take a look at this, I've got 83 degrees, and I want to subtract 75 degrees, which tells me that I'm having an increase of 8 degrees Fahrenheit in my temperature. What that means is I need to take away negative 1.2 kilograms of fertilizer for each degree. So to find out how much that is, I would say 8 degrees times negative 1.2, and what we'll get is negative 9.6 kilograms of fertilizer. Now, make sure we're answering the question. So I'm doing a lot of math here, and I want to make sure that I'm answering the question. It says, what is the required application amount of nitrogen phosphate at that average temperature of 83? So we know that we need to subtract 9.6 from the original amount of application at 75 degrees. So we're going to take 40 and we're going to subtract 9.6, which is going to leave us with 30.4 kilograms. And so if we look at our answer choices, we can see that 30.4 is answer A. Now, I know that it can take me a long time to kind of explain this, and I get a little wordy, and I understand that, and I'm just trying to make sure that I'm covering all my bases for students who may not understand what it is that I'm trying to do. For many of you, you would do a lot of this work a lot quicker in your head, or you would do it in your calculator. I'm writing down for the benefit of the viewer, whereas if I were actually taking the ACT right now, I probably would not have written down half of what I have written on the screen at this point. So you have to decide how comfortable you are writing stuff down or not writing stuff down and not making mental mistakes. So you have to kind of know yourself and how fast you can work and how much you need to write down. But just kind of keep that in mind as you work forward. All right, so this is a classic problem where technically, if you were doing this in a math class, probably in an Algebra 1 class, your teacher would be asking you to write an equation to represent this scenario, or writing an expression to represent this scenario. And then from there, you would be working towards answering the question. Keep in mind, the ACT is not going to check your work. They just want to see if you got the right answer based off whatever you bubbled on your bubble sheet. So if you do it the old textbook way, because that's the way you feel more comfortable doing it, great. If not, you want to do this manually, no big deal there as well. It says if the cost of a box of 12 pens is $7.20, so that's going to be important. 12 pens, $7.20. And a box of 16 pencils is $4. What is the cost of 3 pens and 3 pencils? Well, basically what we need to do is we need to get this ratio reduced down to figure out what does 1 pen cost and what does 1 pencil cost. And once we figure out what 1 pen and 1 pencil cost, then we can figure out how much 3 pens is and how much 3 pencils are. So I'm going to take $7.20 and divide it by 12, and that gives me a decimal of 0.6. So if we're looking at it from a monetary value, it's 60 cents for each pen that we buy. And if we do the same thing for the pencils, we're going to take $4 and divide it by 16. That tells me that it's going to cost me 25 cents for each pencil that I buy. So if I buy 3 pens at 60 cents a piece and 3 pencils at 25 cents a piece, and I add those together, we can see that we're going to have a cost of $2.55, and that would be choice B. For our next problem, we kind of mix in a little geometry into our decimal problem, and we also have to have a little bit of knowledge of converting length measurements. So it says, shown below, a board 5 feet 6 inches long is cut into 2 equal parts. What is the length to the nearest inch of each part? If we wanted to use math to do this, we need to kind of get our feet and our inches all on the same level playing field. So if we think about this, we should know that 6 inches is a half a foot, or 0.5 feet. So we're talking about 5.5 feet or 5.5 feet. And of course, we're cutting that in half or dividing it in 2. So that's going to give us 2.75 feet. And of course, if we look at all of our answer choices, we don't have it in decimal form. We need to convert the 0.75 back to inches. And so we know that there are 12 inches in a foot. So if we have 0.75 of 12, that's going to leave us with 9 inches. So this will be 2 feet and 9 inches. Now, if we were in a hurry or we just were unsure what we were doing, the 2.75 feet would have given us an opportunity to eliminate D and E, but by going that step further, we can see that answer choice C has to be the correct answer. Okay, this next question is a scientific notation question. So if you're in a science class like physical science or chemistry or possibly even physics that uses scientific notation pretty regularly, then this should be kind of comfortable for you. If you are not, this is not a difficult skill to learn. We're not talking about significant figures or anything in this particular case. We're just worried about converting larger or smaller numbers to scientific notation. So we're not going to the degree that your science teacher may ask of you. We're just looking for basic definitional understanding of scientific notation. Now, another thing that you can do is you can use your calculator. So we can see here we've got 0 point, and we have, looks like we have 5 zeros there, and then a numeric value. Any scientific notation, the decimal point goes between the ones unit and the tens unit, and then we're going to multiply it times 10 to some exponent value. Now, in doing so, if we have an extremely small number, we're going to be moving that decimal point to the right, and you can see that we've moved this decimal point to get it to right behind that 1, and we moved it to the right 6 units. Now, the nice thing about the answer choices are we can see that they're all negative. So 10 to the negative 6th would be the correct answer. And we know that 1 times anything is itself, so in this case, 10 to the negative 6, or answer choice C, would be the appropriate choice. If you did not know scientific notation, this is a good test-taking strategy. Take the answer choices and plug them in your calculator and see what decimal it gives you. If you take 10 to the negative 1 and you punch it into your calculator, see if it matches up with this decimal. If it does not, you move on to the next one until you get the number that you need. So that is a little bit more time consuming in some instances, but it should help you get the answer correct for a skill that you possibly do not remember how to do. Our last question here in this document is a little bit more of an advanced version of a scientific notation problem. So let's take a look at what the information gives us. Walter recently vacationed in Paris. While there, he visited the Louvre, a famous art museum. Afterward, he took a 3.7-kilometer cab ride from the Louvre to the Eiffel Tower. A tour guide named Amélie informed him that 2.5 million rivets were used to build the tower, which stands 320 meters tall. Look, a lot of information going on here. 3.7 kilometers, 2.5 million, 320 meters tall. At this point, we really don't know what of those numbers are going to be important. So as we go a little further, it says, when written in scientific notation, the number of rivets. So that's really, really important. So we're dealing with 2.5 million rivets to build the Eiffel Tower is equal to which of the following expressions. So basically what that's telling us is that the 320 meters is irrelevant. The 3.7 kilometer cab ride is also irrelevant. What we need to do is we need to take this 2.5 million. What does that look like? So if we wrote that out as an entire number, that's what 2.5 million would look like. And we know that the decimal point is right here. And we need to get this to 2.5 times 10 to some exponent value. So we just need to move the decimal point back to go between the 2.5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means we have moved it back 6. So that's going to be 2.5 times 10 to the 6. Now, if you're unsure if you counted that right, just like I suggested on the previous problem, check this in your calculator. Take 2.5 times 10 to the 6th and see if it comes out to be 2,500,000. And if it does, and then you've done this problem correct, and we can see that answer choice A is the correct answer. All right, so there were some good examples of how decimals and scientific notation can show up on the ACT. We've given you various degrees of difficulty, so these problems can show up anywhere from probably question number 1 all the way to question number 40. All right, good luck with the rest of your ACT prep, and I would definitely recommend moving on to the next video in the playlist to help you continue getting prepared for the pre-algebra section of the ACT math. Okay, now that you finished those problems, I hope they didn't give you too much trouble and you learned a few strategies to go along with them. So these are some of the ACT math pre-algebra skills that you're going to need for the ACT math test. Now, these are generally the easier questions and you should get these 100% correct. Now, there's 10 other videos that go along with ACT pre-algebra. So if you check in the description below, I've provided a little link to each of those videos. Also, if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see the playlist. We'll have a playlist of the pre-algebra videos as well. And coming up a little bit later, we will also do playlists for the ACT math sections for Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, coordinate geometry, plane geometry, and trig. So basically keep an eye out for those. Always check back to our YouTube channel to see if they are up, and we will have playlists for those. Now, as far as ACT prep is concerned, we do have a very good ACT prep course that we provide online. It's very affordable, and if you follow us on our social media, we do give discounts from time to time for our online prep class. So be sure to follow us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And also keep up with our YouTube channel, because from time to time in videos I do give you coupon codes for discounts on our ACT online prep course. So for a very cheap price, you can get a very, very good prep course. Many of our students go up 4, 5, 6 points. We've had students go up as much as 12 points using this program. So we look forward to seeing you in the future. Hopefully you'll take our course. If not, just keep watching our videos. That'll get you a long way to improving your ACT score. Thank you for helping us out. Share these videos with a friend. Tell as many of your friends as you can about them. We appreciate your support on our YouTube channel. And again, don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell for future notifications. Thank you.